Respect from is better.
Yes.
No. Other direction.
So we're live now. We are live, everyone. We're live. Just waiting for the wonderful participants or audience to come in. How are you today, Mr. Alphadi?
Fine, thank you, Michael. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm very well. I love your outfit. It's beautiful. Is that an Alphadi? Is that an Alphadi piece?
The label Alphadi, yes, Alphadi
Beautiful.
is my African outfit, and that outfit was sell it in Nigeria and all African in Niger and all Muslim. But now is a new things for a young like you to wear this outfit. Very important for us.
Well, I hope to get my piece like that because I love that.
Exactly.
I love
I'm
that.
coming in London with that. No problem.
Good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We shall start in just audience, come on in. I hope you're all well. All of you on Facebook. Yes, we have the great Mr. Alphadi here with us. So please come on in, join us. How is the weather are you in Niger? Where are you, Mr. Alphadi? In Niger?
I'm in Niger, and I just came 3 weeks ago. I'm with my audience, with my partners, and we really beginning to work for this aid we have, like coronavirus, and we work and we try to make economic fashion and economic things. We have this sickness, we know that, but we make fashion also become the way to get money and to stay for that. No problem for that.
Very important. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to the Africa Fashion Week London Masterclass. And today we have a very special guest. If you were not, if you didn't get to see the webinar with this incredible man, you're in for a treat today. You're in for an incredible treat. We have one of the only, if not the only, fashion designer in the world to be given the esteemed title of UNESCO Artist for Peace. You might also know him as the magician of the desert. He is the one, the only Alphadi. He's been in the industry for over 40 years. He started his career back in the 1980s. In 1984, he launched his business, his brand, the Alphadi brand. In 1985, he had his first haute couture show in Paris. He has not strayed from his African roots. He rubbed shoulders with the Yves Saint Laurent, the Christian Lacroix. I mean, the big and the who's of who of the fashion world. Monsieur Alphadi has rubbed shoulders with them. He has the largest international fashion festival in the world, based in Africa, in Niger, under the acronym FEMA. I encourage all of you to definitely go and find out as much as you can, because this gentleman here, our very special guest today, will be dropping gems on how to sustain your brand, how to develop your brand, how to ensure that you overcome obstacles and learn from every challenge that comes before you as you pursue your ambition to have a flourishing fashion brand. He is a statesman. He is acknowledged, respected, doors open all across Africa for this gentleman. And I tell you, I have come to know Mr. Alphadi over the last month and a half, and I feel like I've known him forever. His passion and enthusiasm for supporting and developing and giving visibility to Africa is just extraordinary, hugely inspiring for me and the entire team at Africa Fashion Week London. I don't want to go on because there's so much I could say. I can literally show so much adulation to this gentleman. So I am going to hand it over to the incredible, incomparable Alphadi.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Michael. That's very good and very kind for me. I'm only fashion designer to love African, intercontinental, to show how African can do it. And African is a continent. Africa is not 2 or 3 countries. Africa is 54 countries. I can tell you maybe 1,000, 3,000 languages, 5,000 kind of textile, jewelries. I can tell you Africa is a most beautiful continent in the world. Alphadi beginning his work 40 years ago, 40 years ago, but I born in Timbuktu. Timbuktu is like the first country I can tell you. I can mix the word inside Jossis, Arabic, Fulani Pool, and all kind of person are this in this country when I born. I born in Timbuktu, that's true. I have now 63 years, that's my age. And since I grown by fashion industry, I grown by beauty. I help my mothers, I have my sister to make the makeup. I said them, no, this one is not good. Do this way, when they have 20, 25, 22 years. And my mother said, oh, this kind of person, this is work for women, is not for men. And that is my father said, no work for you. I said, no, Papa, I want to do this work. Fashion is me. And they said me, no, you're supposed to go do your work. When I get my baccalaureate, I do my baccalaureate in Niger, but I born in Timbuktu. And when I do my baccalaureate, my parents send me to Paris. When I go to Paris, fashion is in my blood, in my heart. And textile is me. And I said, I want to do fashion. My parents said, no, you're supposed to make your study in tourism. Like I have my master and my baccalaureate, my doctorate in tourism too. But all the nights I go to make fashion to go to school fashion, like Yves Saint Laurent, know me, Paco Rabanne, know me, Christian Lacroix, know me. And I go to see them. And they became my big friend. When I draw, when I make my design, they said, incredible, how are you young like this, you do this kind of design? I said, because it's my life, you know? And this one is the beginning to make my fashion. I make my doctorate in tourism, and also all the nights, I go to my fashion industry and fashion school. And when they make the big show, like for fashion show for Yves Saint Laurent, fashion show for Christian Lacroix, fashion show for Paco Rabanne, they invited me to come. And the top model are my friend. That's the way really to see also the way to make fashion show, the way to see my drops. They said, wow, we can use the dropping, but sometimes I said, no, this is for my new collection. The thing is really, my family really don't see me like a designer. They want me maybe to become a doctor. They see me like to become maybe I don't know, the professional for tourism. But me, my work is only to help my country, to make fashion industry truly. This is the way when I finish, I come to my country. When I come to my country, 6 months after, I beginning to drop my first collection. This kind of collection is to use African collection. This is 35 years ago, to use African textile, to use African motifs, to use African beauty, African makeup, to use African women's beauty. That's the way I see the top model like Katusha, the top model like Naomi Campbell, the top model like the white, but they love only Alphadi work. And the way I do is I come to my country to beginning and to work how I can make my work. But I make my work in tourism. They give me a chance to become director of the big fashion, or the big hotels. Alpha is the director of marketing. And I see, oh, the work is good for me, but my country send me all the time to go to New York, to go to Paris, to go to Spain, to promote my country. In this promoting, I make textile to show them how they can make, when Senegal make dance, when Cote d'Ivoire show coffee, Alphadi show fashion and makeup from the desert. And I show also my embroideries. I show also the textile. I show also all the jewelry from this country and the motifs. And now we're beginning to design really Alphadi collection. This is 25 or 35 years ago. And all the big women and the big rich men come to see me to said, how you do that? I said, because I love fashion and I make my industry. And I said to my country, I can't stay in tourism. That's why in 35 years, 32 years ago, I beginning really to make my fashion, to beginning really my bureau de style, to beginning also to make my showroom and to use African textile, African embroideries, and African beauty, and African top models. And all the first ladies come to see Alphadi, said, wow, this is a new fashion designer. And in France designer, and the France Federation call me all the time when they have the big fashion show in Paris, in London, in New York, and also other country Arabic. And when they see I design, they said, this Alphadi do that? I said, yes. And I'm not autodidact because I have also big school when I studied 3 years fashion, Atelier de la Mode, Chardon Savard in Paris. And when I opened my workshop in Niger, this school come to see me and to work with me 6 months to give me scholarship and to help my workers. And that is why really we begin to make Alphadi design very professional with a professional from my country. And they stay with me 1 year. Sometimes they go back in France and they come again in Niger. You understand me? You understand me?
Yes, we do. We understand you clearly, Mr. Alphadi. Please continue.
Okay. Okay, because I not see the picture. That's why I talk like this. You know, the things Israeli, they think Africa don't have fashion. They think African is like, we are here to copy or to go only to buy collection from New York, from Paris, and to come. I show them African can do it. When I begin to wear the first ladies collection, when I begin to make the collection for the president, African president collection, to show them Africa, the king of Morocco, Gaddafi, all the big men, all the president collection, they come to Alphadi to do it for them. But I said them, I need that is true, but I want to participate in all the fashion week in London, fashion week in Dutch, fashion week in Germany, and fashion week in Paris, fashion week in Spain, Imagen Moda, and fashion week in Paris. And now they give me like a stand to show my collection. I said, I don't need a stand, I need a tent, like the desert. They give me sand, and I make my tent. In my tent, I show Alphadi collection. And now the top models come to me, and they wear my collection, and all the buyers come to see my collection. That the way they said, oh, this is an incredible person. The fashion you show from the desert, and the fashion you saw is my collection from the motifs from my country. And the way I use the collection is modern, but use African material. Very modern, like bustier, like haute couture, like sometimes all the things is pearls, and we do it by hand. And we do all the things in this poor country. And they call me when I make the Paris-Dakar, is a big, Paris-Dakar is like the car. And when they come to Niger, they invite me in the desert. And he's the guy, he is in the poor country, but he make collection for the most rich man in the world. That's me. The things is African designer can do, an African designer like Alphadi can make African fashion true, and to show African materials also true. And African beauty also, like top model, we use the model from this country. And that is really Alphadi. And when I see Alphadi can do it, I invited African younger fashion designer. She said, I'm here for you. I'm here for you. And I'm beginning to make my first festival. This festival has today 22 years. And I said, I want to do this festival in the desert. And that's why, because I want to show the world the podium, the runway we have is a desert, is a sun. Only nice things, one color, and we can show Alphadi, Christian Lacroix, Yves Saint Laurent, Pateo, Paco Rabanne, and Coleso Ardo like fashion designer to show the world African designer is a big designer, to show who is who. When you make the first festival, the world said, wow, African designer can do that, like the big designer from Europe, from America. I said, of course. And the thing is like, we don't have financial person to put money on us. You know, if Saint Laurent with Pierre Berger and Gucci and all the big designers, they have the money, they put on them. But for us, the government not give us money. And we don't have financial men to put money on our design. That is a problem, the fight Alphadi beginning to make. I said, we can help Africa together. We want to help all African designers together. But before I forget, we have our federation. In 1994 in Accra, Ghana, we take the big designer. The older one is older than me. His name Chris Seydou, and this man from Mali, and we make him president of our fashion federation. 6 months after he died, and 6 months after they take me for this federation, Alphadi president, for this event, for this big federation. And this federation is for African. It's not only for Africa North, or Africa South, or Africa East. It's Africa, all Africa Federation, and Alphadi is the president for that. And we make this federation in Accra. You know, we have top model like Christian, Katusha. We have all the big designer from Accra, from Nigeria, from Niger, from Cote d'Ivoire. We have also the jewelry maker like Michael Kra. We have also the painter from Cote d'Ivoire. They are in our federation. But Africa Continental Federation is very, very heavy to work together. Some of so like Kofi Ansah, he's died. We have one from Togo, he's died. Katusha, she's died too. But we are here. We love them, and we continue to respect our memory for our federation. This federation is to be together to help African, because Africa need industry for fashion. Africa need also the young people today to show how African fashion can make employment about this industry. And this one is like when I make my big festival in the desert, now 22 years before, 10 years ago, I think about school, like the first school, like university for fashion. And they get the land in Niger, and they get the financial part of World Bank to want to help me to make education and give chance to African to learn fashion. We can say we make fashion industry and to help African designer, and we know have education for them. We can send also all our young people to go to New York, to go to Paris, to go, and they don't come back again. They go, and sometimes the parents don't have money to send them. That's why since 9 years, I get the land, I get the money to build the school, to also to learn our younger and to show them how Africa industry can be in Niger. But sometimes the politicians not understand, they don't have our mentality. They want to do it, but they think we are crazy. Fashion maker or fashion industry is crazy. And that is the problem we have with this politician. And now, since 2 years, we're beginning to work with the big bank like financial, like Afrexim Bank, like the big men who want interested to put money in our label, to make haute couture Alphadi, pret-à-porter ready to wear, to make Alphadi jewelries, Alphadi cosmetic, Alphadi perfume, Alphadi jeans. But this development, I have it since 20 years. I am the first African designer to make Alphadi jeans, Alphadi ready to wear, Alphadi sportswear, Alphadi perfume. I have my troisième parfum, like Alphadi Laïr for Alphadi. We have Alphadi for men, we have Alphadi for women, and also for the cosmetic, like Huile d'Argan, like Carity, and we do this kind of things. But all these things I do it by my money alone, Alphadi, because I want to put the world to see African also can do it. And I sign also African textile. They're available by Alphadi. Textile like this one, African, like all the big industry like Woodin, like Vlisco, they do. But I said to Vlisco, or the Bazin, that's African design. That the design from Europe. We want to use this kind of textile to do it in Africa, to show African also can do it. But since 1 year, Vlisco, they buy Vlisco by African man. He's I think, son of Kofi Annan, and he's from Ghana, and some part of the partnership, they are from Nigeria. And we are so happy to take African textile with Africans. We can get American guys, Senegal, European guys, no problem, but we want to profit from Africa. And also, I can tell you, African have 1,300,000 persons. They need African fashion. They need African glasses. They need African hat. They need African shoes. We have cotton. We have leather. We have gold. We have diamond. We have everything in Africa, and we can do to use it for African before to go to Europe. I said to African presidents, we can use maybe at 25% of this cotton. All the cotton go to Chinese. All the cotton go to Japan. All the cotton go to Europe. We know we're supposed to fight for that. This cotton for stay in Africa, and our leather supposed to stay in Africa. We can get 25% also to use this cotton, to let this leather, this diamond, and now African can use more. And also we have chance to get the Black people. They are in London. They are in Brazil. They are in I don't know, in Cuba. They are in America. These Black people, they are Black people. They supposed to be in Africa, and this African fashion and African design are supposed to be together, supposed to be one. I know 40 years I'm in fashion to fight. Maybe I can say it alone, but sometimes they want to kill me. Sometimes all the Muslim person think this fashion I make is not good for our religion. I said, no way. Really, I'm a Muslim, and I love my country, and I love my religion. But I know, Mike, I don't want to make bad thing for everything. My Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he loved fashion, he loved cosmetic, he loved perfume, he loved beauty, you know. But if we are together, we are we are Catholic, we are Muslim. I love everyone. We're supposed to be together to build Africa. To build Africa fashion, because my label is known everywhere. And I am going to make today nice collection for the big women wedding in Gabon, some wedding in Senegal, some wedding in New York, and they make all this collection in Niger, sometimes in Morocco. And we have the part for this kind to show the work of Africa designer to the world. And also I can tell you something, we're beginning to have the financial men from Africa. They have money and they want to put money on this designer from Africa. If we are together, we can make this industry really to get money inside. You can stay maybe in London, no problem, but you are African designer. You can stay in Monaco, no problem. You can stay in New York, you can stay in everywhere, but Africa need you. For FIMA, my festival, every 2 years, and now we become every year, we can make it together in Africa to show your economic way, because before we show the designer, but now we want to show economic money we can make in design, and this money we can make your shop, your workshop, your showroom, your boutiques in your country from Africa. And we can make also export our collection through Europe, and to show European African fashion and African industry can help also Africa to grow and Africa to become a really nice country, nice continent. That is, we're supposed to talk with politicians, we're supposed to talk with the buyers, and we're supposed to talk with also the money maker. That is the way, I'm sure, if you were to get, and the younger now, from the beginning 5 years ago, 10 years ago, they are incredible, intelligent person. But in my festival, I make every year the concours for the young designer. Every year, I make the concours for the top model. And I can tell you, we have only the great person. And we give them a scholarship, and we give them money to make the workshop nicely. Now we have maybe, I tell you, 100%, they are ready really to work in fashion industry. And we are also beginning to make, like, my school is also bigger, and we want to make it. And also producer. Fashion, we can make fashion if we know have nice production, quality production. We can go to China or to Italy or to, I don't know, India to make this production true. But production, we can make it here in Niger, we can make it in Senegal, we can make it in Cote d'Ivoire, we can make it in Morocco, we can make it in Nigeria. And I think really in Ghana also. And we're supposed to be together. Yes, my label, I make it because when I beginning, I have 125 person work in my industry, because I make my design, I make also my production, I make also my jewelries by myself. The thing is, all the things, the money stay in my country, but is not really what supposed to do. We can make our design, we can make our book, we can make our work. And now if you have this production in maybe 5 countries, and we can make our promotion and to come to promote, and also to come to make the production in this kind of production we have. And we're beginning to do it in Senegal. Senegal now, we built 300 person for this production. You want to make only your shirts, only your dress. We have in Senegal, we have the same things. I think 2 person make it in Accra. The person make it in Nigeria. And together we can make more and more to help fashion industry and to give human face for Africa by fashion industry. Textile, that is the things we're supposed to fight for that. Our textile can be only in German to do it, only in Holland to do it, only in ABC Wax, they from England. We know that. We talk with this kind of person to put some of this kind of industry for textile also in Africa. And our federation can do it, and the younger, and your Fashion Week from London can promote. Our Fashion Week in Niger can promote, and together we can make bigger and bigger for African industry. We established, that's true, but this established supposed to be more together. Alone, we can't do nothing. Is okay?
Superb, Mr. Alphadi. We are so enjoying this. There's so much you're sharing with us. Please tell us more. You have, I mean, we can literally sit here and talk to you all day. So please tell us more.
Okay, we are put furniture that is Alphadi home design. We can put in this kind of fashion the way to help like artisanal. I'm the person, when I work in tourism, I promote artisanal work, like handmade, like all this kind of protection of Tuaregs, Tuaregs work from Niger. We do this kind of stuff, so shoes, for bags, for everything that is for Niger alone. And, all the motifs, I can tell you, African motifs, all the things we use for the things we can make African jewelry, all the things like the label, like my friend talked about my book. This book is really book for Alphadi, and this book is like me and Naomi Lenoir in this book. And this book is like the writer, the communication for our festival, the communication also of our design. We have, I can't tell you how many, on this book. You see, I can show you. Beauty, Africa hairdress, Africa, you know, we can't, we can't say we forget the world. The world is for Africa. That is all the designer and all the, the book is an incredible book. I can show you like this to see in top, you see the models. We see all of the collection. We see. You see. Here we have 52 designers, but all in my festival, I invited 54 country and 52 designers from each country. But in this festival, we invited Europeans, Americans, and the world come. But the most part of the designer came from Africa. And we want to show the world example, like Yves Saint Laurent, Christian Lacroix, Paco Rabanne, the big designer from Europe come, Versace, they come for this festival. And also we invited African designers to come and to show how African designer can become the best too. They are the best. And we see in this, this showing, Africa continent is the best way. And they copy us too much. They copy our textile. They copy our motifs. They copy our embroideries. They copy our perfume. And now we can do it by ourselves. That the things, Paco Rabanne tell me before. He said, all the mask I use on my bustier, mask Africa. Alphadi, you're supposed to do it by yourself because he's my friend. He's my brother. And he's my father too. And he know more about me. If Saint Laurent, if I make my first festival, he send me money. He send me 1,000 gift perfume for the first lady because only she know the best buyer from haute couture is African woman. And the money is in Africa, the beauty is in Africa, the material is in Africa, and the continent is incredible, beautiful. And we're supposed to use African by African. Now, what I want to say to all of you, Africans supposed to wear Africa. We're supposed to use African textile. We're supposed to use African beauty. We're supposed to be together to give them, we're supposed to give love between African to African. European are our cousin. We speak English. It's our language. We suppose French. Is not, we speak French, it's not my language. But we suppose this language, we work with this language. But for now, we are the same. English, French, Joseph, with African black people. We are together the same. We are cousins. But They're supposed to work like partnership. We know they no can take all our riches to go in Europe and to beat us. No education, no diamond, no textile, no cotton. All go to Europe, nothing for us here in Africa. No way. The time is now. The time is to show our big industry, our fashion, our queen before they were haute couture. Our mother, my mother, she wear always haute couture. My grandmother, because the material she used is unique, not true. The thing is, we're supposed to come down and to make a reflection with our politician, with our banker. We know Congo, European never give us the bank, the money to promote our industry. They said only if you promote it, this industry go to Europe. By our continent, we can do it. To use our continent, to use our material, and we can, with our collection, to go send in America, because we have the force to do it. It's our material is beauty, our collection is nice, good finishing, they buy. And together, we can beat. I know said, I can't say alone together, African because African is African. No way, no. We are together, European, African, American together, but Africa need to become also strong. And Africa is a continent. Africa is, in my country alone, I have 35 kind of speaking. 35 kind to make embroidery. 35 form of to make what is the name, tie and dye. And Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, 100 kind of speaking language. We have rich continent, and we have nice person, and we have, I'm African, you see, my colors, my skin, they said, are you French? I said, no way. My parents from Africa. Between Morocco to Niger to Mali, I'm African. I know I have my blood, any white person. But that's it, you're supposed to see Africa is like this. The beautiful is in Africa. You know, Africa is a continent, Africa, but this jealousy with African and African supposed to stop. These bad things between Africa and Africa, stop it. Give them love. Change these things with the, you know, one president come, he take all the money, he go, one things go. We're supposed to stop that. African, we are together, our fashion can go very quickly. If we are together, our textile go quickly. If you are together, come to me, all of you in Niger. Come to me, all of you in Mali. Come of you, all of you in Paris. I have my showroom in New York, in Paris also. And I give you the thing we can do together. We need money, that's true. But we're supposed to find African financial men or European, but supposed to understand you marry Africa. If you marry Africa, you become Africa too. If you marry Europe, we become European. But you can stay only because we give all our heart, our money, our love to European. No way. Africa is supposed to be with African, with European too. With the money and the change and the collection, the colors is us. They copy jewelry, they copy everything, and they said, oh, this is me. They don't give any royalties to Africa. They don't give any royalties for our motifs. They don't give any royalties to our embroideries. They don't give any royalties to things. Oh, this is only we make. They came from Tuaregs. They came from Fulani. They came from Yoruba. They come from Igbos. No, they're supposed to pay for that. But the force is our federation supposed to become strong, and intellectual protection supposed to be. We protect you to protect ourselves and to give love between African and Africa. If Europeans come, they want to love us too, we marry them and we love them too, no problem. Thank you.
Mr. Alphadi, so, oh my goodness, I tell you, there is no denying of your passion and your strong, vehement advocacy for all things Africa. It is wonderful to hear that this man, this incredible man who had to deal with the challenges of the demands of your expectations of your parents, being Muslim, being a Muslim man in a family that is so highly respected, and wanting and their demands of you to follow a traditional route and you following your passion and understanding that by following your passions, you can do so much to help Africa. And you've done just that.
Yes.
So truly, we, all of us are so incredibly happy, proud, and applaud you for championing Africa. You do this with such integrity. You do this, you live it by ensuring that your supplies, your everything from, as you said, from the textile to the makeup, all your supply come from Africa. Is that correct?
Yes, that's why a Union African, they have the champion in Union African. Sometimes I said to Union African, you not only give chance to speak, because sometimes they not invited the French speaking for the big conference they made. That is the thing, the part to make division between Africa to Africa. They invited only Union in this big conference for African Union in Addis Ababa. They suppose to be together. Africa have Spanish speaking, Portuguese speaking, French speaking, English speaking, but we know we love English speaking, but sometimes if you are not together, we can give chance to Africa to be one. That's why sometimes we make division. And I'm happy now to understand you to say we are one. And Africa supposed to be one in fashion. Fashion, we not speak, we have speaking in fashion. If you see some, this one, so it's lovely. I love it. French speaking can wear that. English can wear that. Spanish can wear that. But we're supposed to become one and to take only the thing we have in Senegal, we can bring it in Mozambique. The artisanal we have it in South Africa, we can bring it in Morocco. The artisanal we have it in Mali, we can bring it in Sao Tome Principe. That is the thing, Africa is really a continent and beauty. And to bring it in New York after, all together in New York, all together in London, all together to promote African. Beauty like you are, Michael, and beauty of the ladies they see every day they are, that is a continent. And we
Mr.
respect
Alphadi,
that.
let me ask you, how important is it, how important is it for you as a brand who champions Africa to ensure that your supplies, everything that you use is from Africa? How important has that been in, in putting the Alphadi brand at a very competitive level, at a global competitive position?
Because all my textile, I make it by hand. All my textile, I make a research. I go to Senegal, I go to Nigeria, I go to Accra, Niger, Mali, and the teinture, like tie and dye, I go choose to everyone before I begin my collection. And I know my collection, nobody can copy it because it handmade it. And with you wear Alphadi manteau, Alphadi big manteau for winter is incredible. Everything is inside. It's heavy, but it's African made. That
So
is when, yes.
So your uniqueness, if the uniqueness of the Alphadi brand is because everything is made in Africa. Is that correct?
Exactly. That's
And
correct.
so, and has that been a very important feature for the Alphadi brand? Has that been important for you?
Yeah, I can show you 1,000 collection here in Niger. I do it since 35 years. He's here, like if you see it, it's like I do it yesterday. And Maria Makeba or Winnie Mandela, all these kind of big ladies come to me. And they come to me in my showroom in Paris, or they come to me in my showroom in Niger. When they come to me directly. And they want to say to me, I want to see your collection 20 years ago. And they tell that they buy that because it's unique. You know, the thing is, Alphadi because all this collection is here. I know sell everything. I give some with the museum, for the museum. And I brought some, I take some from a new museum I want built in Niger, you know, or in Africa, everywhere. The thing is we are unique for my material. We are unique for my jewelries. We are unique for my bijou, my jewelries, because my ancestral, my 21 years jewelry that I use for my collection. That's why we can do and we can make more and more. That is in one or two parts. I use small things. You see.
You mentioned earlier how because in my introduction I emphasized how the praise that you receive as a couture designer, and you said something so important, that your mother, your grandmother, they have always worn couture, and the reason and audience, what we want to I certainly want to make very clear that when Monsieur Alphadi talks couture, he is not saying that his mother and grandmother went to Paris to buy haute couture. Exactly. You are saying that the uniqueness of the African textile and fabrics is what is couture, that African women and African men who buy and shop Africa is already buying couture. Is that correct?
Exactly. When the Prince Claus from Holland, the Prince Claus, he married the Princess Beatrix, the king, now the Reine Beatrix, the Prince Claus. He invited me and he gave me prize $100,000 for my work. The first prize, the Prince Claus give me this prize. When I came, I make dress for the queen, and she and the all ancestral and my jewelry. When I give her these crosses and these jewelries, when she put it, she cried. She told me, Alphadi, nobody in the world give me a gift like this or gift, because it's me. I came to poor country and I give gift for the queen with my collection. And when I make my show there, they said, what? This kind of material. I said, this is 100 ago material, pearls, haute couture, and embroidery. The thing is really with heart, with our thing you can do in Africa. If you give the donation, if you show the world, we see Africa can do it too. We know say we are the best. We said only Africa also can do haute couture, and we are haute couture.
Absolutely. Mr. Alphadi, we have a question. How is the fashion business very different now from when you first started?
Yes, when we started, we have all the big women came to me. When we started,
what I mean now for you, now being in the business for over 40 years and seeing how the fashion industry has changed so much. But do you think there have been very big changes from when you started back in 1984? Is it different from 1984 and different from now?
It's different because the money we get before. But the big person where Alphadi, when she came to take the collection, is supposed to pay $10,000. She gives me $100,000. I can tell you only because he respects Alphadi, he respects Alphadi collection, and the money we get, we can put it in this fashion. And if one woman, he loves Alphadi fashion because she knows the way we do. But now the things is really pret-à-porter, ready to wear. It's not because they give us plenty money. No, it's only because they respect fashion, they respect the creativity for Africa. Before, we have really the May to wake. They go to the wedding, they love to put haute couture. They go to the funeral, they wear haute couture. They go to the, I don't know, to see the mother, they wear haute couture, or they wear something very cost. Now they go to work with jeans. The before, the things is European now, I know that, but in Africa too. This is why this form is here now, and ready to wear, they don't want to do it because they want to come to me and they give me the measurement. I said, no, it's very cost for you to do that. The thing is now also, we now have the money maker to give us money to help Africa, because European is different. European, if they are fashion designer, they have a money maker to put money on the designer, and they make 1,000, 2,000, 1 million, like ready to wear, and everybody, all the boutiques they have, they put inside. But now is like European in Africa. And the European, like we now have the connection for money. We have the connection also to make the production, nice production in Africa. The thing is why we are going to make like European, making 300 years. Now we're beginning here in Africa to make the same work. You know, we need financial guys before we don't need it. Now we needed them because we want to make boutiques, we want to make like European made, and now fashion is like this. If you want to make cosmetic, you want to make your perfume, before I make Alphadi 10 is okay because I sell it very expensive. I want to make jewelry, I make 20 is okay. But now we're supposed to make 100, we're supposed to make 1,000. The difference is really the way, the time, the move, the world change, and the person buy before is not the same like here now, you know.
Right.
But it's good, it's good. But the mentality change is economic, industrial, and if now I make one, this one I can sell expensive, I can make it in 100 and 1,000. One, but the way to do it in production, we now have this machine in Africa, and we're supposed to make the way to do it in Africa. And that is the things is very important for us to become industrial, to become world, Africa become with the world to continue our work.
Mr. Alphadi, I want to ask you also, are you there? Can you hear us? Mr. Alphadi? Pardon us, guys. I think Mr. Alphadi is having some technical issues, but he should be with us. He will return shortly. But ladies and gentlemen, again, I mean, I hope you guys are enjoying this incredible masterclass here with one of the masters of African couture, haute couture fashion. It is just incredible to hear his story, to really understand how he started to where he is right now, and how he continues to support designers, especially young designers, understanding very much how important it is to have the unification of all of Africa in order to bring development opportunities to Africa, in order for people to understand. Well, they certainly understand, but it's certainly that we can take charge of ensuring that we stop the appropriation by being at the forefront of designing and using the supplies, using the raw materials that we have in Africa. And we've learned today that Mr. Alphadi has made sure that he's used that to establish and create a position for himself in the global market and in the high fashion level of the fashion industry. There's so many questions that some of you have that I'm sure we'd like to directly pose to Mr. Alphadi during the masterclass. Unfortunately, due to technical difficulties, we're not able to do that right now. However, I do want to encourage you, all of you, to continue to send those questions in, and we'll forward them to Mr. Alphadi. And if you have your email address there also, we will send those answers back to you directly to your email addresses. But I hope you've enjoyed this afternoon session. There is so much more. There will be another time for Mr. Alphadi to be on our platform, because we are great and huge supporters of the work that he's doing. We are also going to be very much a part of the FEMA Festival that he talked about that happens twice a year. We'll also be very much part of the process of him, bringing more emerging and young designers to the platform, the FEMA platform that he has opened up to everyone in order to give them the market, the recognition and international market opportunities, and to be rubbing shoulders with the big wigs in the fashion industry, and to have the opportunity to be seen by investors who want to invest in African fashion. Thank you all so very much this afternoon for joining us. I hope wherever you are, you're well, you're safe. We have another masterclass coming up very soon in a couple of days with the founder of Africa Fashion Week London, Africa Fashion Week Nigeria, Princess Ronke Ademalui. You don't want to miss that. It's going to be incredible. Also, we have our online fashion courses that's running right now. There will be we'll be very shortly announcing new dates for the new start of the Fashion Futures course that will all be coming up, but there's so much that we're working on. We have our virtual showcase that we'll be announcing very soon also. So for those of you who are looking forward to seeing Africa Fashion Week London this year in the traditional sense at the Freemasons Hall, unfortunately due to the COVID crisis, the COVID-19 crisis, we're not having a traditional event, but please look out for all of the virtual activities that's going on and coming up. Check out all our social media platforms, check out our website. There's so much exciting projects coming up, guys, and we look forward to sharing all of it with you. Thank you all so very much, and we look forward to talking to you more. Any queries you might have, any ideas, any suggestions you might have, please send them over. We are open to really receiving all of that and being able to do our part in representing Africa in its truest form and in Black excellence, and doing all we can to attract the attention, to change the perception of Africa, and giving opportunities, particularly to emerging and young designers. But we're really here to work closely with everyone. As Mr. Alphadi said, you know what, the Americans, the Europeans, the Chinese, everybody are friends as long as they're not exploiting and appropriating. They have to give us our time to tell our story and show our talent. And that's exactly what Africa Fashion Week London is trying to do. Thank you all so very much. Have a very good afternoon. Thank you.